I have a quote here from Richard Holbrooke, the former U.S. envoy, who told the German Süddeutsche Zeitung a couple of days ago. He says, I quote, "Once the talks fail, the Albanians in Kosovo will declare independence within a month. And it's clear that Russia won't recognize them. There is a great danger that violence will be the result." End quote. So, do you agree? Do you think, what do you think will happen if Kosovo declares unilaterally its independence?
First, an important principle. I'm not overly enthusiastic when it comes to discussing what's going to happen after the talks fail. Because if I do that, then I'd contribute to the making of the self-fulfilling prophecy of failure, first and foremost. But
we should foresee such possibility.
I mean, this is a possibility, and I can say that Serbia is taking serious care of this possibility. We're doing our contingency plans. I think that if that comes into actuality, this particular course of events, there is going to be a risk of a physical instability, of a security threat, not just in Kosovo, but in maybe other localities of the region, maybe other localities of the world, and I think that. As we're approaching this critical date of December 10, I think that there's more and more evidence that situation may start being very complicated in case of the unilateral declaration of independence. Now, I think that we should really try and avoid this particular course of events.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so you mean there might be sort of a chain reaction caused by developing events in Kosovo?
Well, if you're referring to a unilateral declaration of independence that furthermore may be recognized by a third party, I mean, what is a fact is that this would be the first time in the post-1945 world that ethnic-based secession is granted support by a number of important actors inside the international community. Now, when something happens for the first time, another way of calling it is a precedent. Mm-hmm. Now, once this precedent is established, I'd be worried about a number of other places in the world, a number of other situations that exist on the verge of a frozen conflict or are a frozen conflict, for that matter.
Your Excellency, I have a quote from Serbia's Minister for Kosovo, Mr. Slobodan Samardžić, who said, "Today we have presented another case of successful functional autonomy. It is the case of Åland Islands with Finland," end quote. He said it like last week. So what is the position of Belgrade? You keep saying, your side keeps saying that you have a constructive position and good proposals that the Kosovars wouldn't accept. Can you please specify?
Well, actually, in the last round of negotiations, we continued from the Serbian side, drawing functional parallels, if you will, with the living models of substantial autonomy. The basic point is that we are offering to Kosovo Albanians a uniquely crafted partnership under a common sovereign roof. So what we are offering to them is an almost unrestrained exercise of autonomy that comes up to almost perfect self-governance in the absence of the changeover of the carrier of sovereignty. I mean, we cannot give up our sovereignty. We are not going to give up our sovereignty. We can discuss with the Albanians as to what are the prerogatives of sovereignty that Belgrade is going to keep. We are prepared that these prerogatives are cut down to a very, very small number of prerogatives. It can be zero. We can talk about a number of them. That could be 2, 3, 4, 5, more or less, but it cannot be zero. Now, a lot of people have been telling us, well, this is not functional. This can't happen.
What kind of people?
The West. I mean, a lot of analysts, a lot of politicians, a lot of diplomats, a lot of people who are talking with publicly or privately, and they've been telling us, it won't work. This proposal of the substantial autonomy can exist only on paper. You can't implement it. Now, we came across with a model of, we came out, if you will, with a model of Hong Kong, saying like, well, this is the model of Hong Kong. This is a substantial autonomy under a common sovereign roof of the People's Republic of China. Now, what we are offering to the Albanians is a much wider autonomy than the autonomy envisaged by the Hong Kong model. Now, if the Hong Kong model can live, then of course a model that is a Hong Kong plus or a Hong Kong plus plus, if you will, can live too. Now, they said to us afterwards, well, Hong Kong's China, and that's Far East, and these, models can be implemented in Europe. So we said, fine, let's pick up another model. And the Island Islands are very much in Europe. They're part of the sovereignty of Finland. They're occupied by Swedes, 95%. It is very much in Europe, and we are talking again about the common sovereign roof and an almost unrestrained exercise of autonomy. This is the gist of our model. We are not seeking to reintroduce our control over Kosovo. So what we are offering to them is to self-govern themselves, but we can't give up the sovereign claim over the territory. No country in the world would be prepared to do that, and Serbia is not an exception.
Well, we have heard a number of pretty positive proposals, diplomatic proposals from your side, and you have written most of them, so you know better. But the Albanians in Kosovo keep reducing them. Is it because they're stronger? I made a big film on Kosovo. I don't think they are. The West that's supporting their movement say, no, but we'll back the democratic way. So maybe there's something we don't know. What makes them refuse? Can you tell us? Well, I mean, the journalists, the people that are watching this process very closely, is there something we should know to understand why are they refusing to talk?
Well, I don't think that one needs to be really a rocket scientist or like a PhD in history of the Balkans in order to understand what's going wrong right now in the process. There's one very simple thing. We are given this deadline on December 10th. And what we are witnessing from a week to a week is a situation where very high-level officials of some of the very influential actors in this process, international actors in this process, are coming out and saying, guys, if you don't agree by December 10th that we are going to endorse the position of one of the sides, very explicitly. Now, that, of course, has an instantaneous effect of this particular side that expects to be endorsed after December 10 to do nothing but just wait out a clock. I mean, to make it like to take the diplomatic gloves off for a second. I'm not sure if that's too smart to think for Mr. Foreign Affairs on a TV, but I'll do that nonetheless.
That's as much as you can afford. Being a Prime Minister.
For a second. I mean, there's some people out there, and they're pretty powerful, and they're saying, you guys have until December 10th. And if you don't agree on a status, then we're going to recognize Kosovo's independence. Now, Kosovo Albanians, they happen to want this independence, so they can either like make a concession to Serbia now, or wait for 2 weeks and get 100% of what they want. Now, go figure. What is it that they're going to do? Well, they're waiting out to December 10, and they're being very hardline in the negotiations. They refuse to negotiate a status. They're saying the status is not a topic for negotiation. We can only talk to you a post-status relationship between two independent entities. They are actively obstructing this negotiation. This is a very unfortunate set of circumstances that we're dealing with.